Hello, let's talk about Sick. So, if you don't know what Sick is about, it's about two best friends who are quarantining at a family's lake house alone. But are they? I gotta say, I was definitely triggered by the opening of this movie with like the grocery store and like everybody trying to find toilet paper and like all the floor arrows. I had forgotten about floor arrows until I watched this movie, and like sanitizing all the groceries when you get home with wet wipes. It's funny the things that you forget when you're in a traumatic situation, you know? So I was definitely getting a lot of Kevin Williamson vibes, especially when the phone rings and it's an unknown caller and they're all getting the text messages, which would make sense because Kevin Williamson wrote and produced this movie. I really liked the opening of this movie. There was like this theme in the film that the victims really fought back, and the dude in the opening scene put up a really good fight, but of course he did. And I am here for all of the nods to other horror films like the Jason Voorhees joke. It's not Jason, it's Saturday the 4th. So we then meet DJ, who is a little bit annoying, but because he just like shows up unannounced during a quarantine. And also like, the fuck was that baby story? Bruh, hello? But of course we have to assume that he was there because, you know, the killer had to slice and dice as our first victim. Well, technically second victim. So throughout the film, we got these really cool, like close-ups, almost like too close. But then we get like these really long shots, and I like the way the camera would like position itself to like look around corners. Like, are we in the killer's POV here? You know, getting a little Black Christmas vibes, little Michael Myers vibes. I think my favorite scene in the whole movie was when Parker is rowing her little heart out across the lake, and we have this like really long bird's eye view of her. That was good. I liked that. Also, I was cringing but also laughing when they were having their like dance party in the basement. They were all like wearing masks and like spraying sanitizer everywhere. Funny. I also like the dynamic between the two best friends, Mira and Parker. I will say though that there were some slow parts because I was sort of like waiting for something to happen, but that was probably just my anxiety, you know, because I knew it was like the tension and the setting of the whole movie was just like, oh my God, something's gonna happen. When is it gonna happen? I don't know when it's gonna happen, you know, but that's a good thing. Also, the shot of DJ coming out of the house with like the truck lights on him and the killer like spearing him in the chest definitely gave me these kind of vibes. Love a good Paris Hilton moment in a horror movie. What I really liked about the film too was that the girls were not helpless. They were kicking ass left and right. They were like throwing the killer down the stairs. They were breaking windows to scale the roof. They were hitting the killer with the drawer, then like bashing his head in. Oh, and then Mira, she made a splint for her leg out of like a bar stool and some cling wrap. Girl boss mode activated. But then of course we see that there is another killer. Technically, there are 3 killers. Like, what the fuck? Actually, I think when I was watching this, I was like, oh. Also, slick move on the killer's part for putting the chloroform in the masks. But my question during the movie, which I have to assume is yours too, were, who were the killers and why the fuck were they doing this? Well, apparently, it's a family who had a son that died because he got COVID from making out with Parker at a party that we learned about in the beginning of the movie. And apparently Parker is asymptomatic and gave COVID to her son, to the family's son. Not, Parker doesn't have a son. So obviously this family is seeking all of the revenge. And then it connected back to the beginning of the movie for the kid who was slaughtered because he was the one that apparently gave it to Parker. I don't know how they figured that out, but whatever. There were also these one-liners throughout the film that definitely gave me Kevin Williamson vibes, like the dark humor when the wife was like, honey, your mask. And then he was like, oh, okay. And of course, another little nod to Black Christmas when the dad puts the bag over Parker's head. And the dad's death was brutal, and the mom's death was also brutal too. Damn. I love in that scene where we're watching the mom on fire like go down the street, and in the background it's like the birds are chirping and the sun is rising. It's like a very pleasant street on a very secluded suburban neighborhood, and there's just like this woman on fire running down the street. Like, could you imagine talking about your quarantine? Hey, what did you do during quarantine? Oh, just like ate a bunch of snacks and like watched TikTok all day. You? Oh, I just killed a family with my best friend. Oh, well, all right. Anyways, this movie was awesome, brutal, gory, revengeful, and it kicked ass. I really love Parker and Mira. I think they're one badass duo. Okay, let's read some of my favorite Letterboxd reviews. Okay, this first one. The coughs are coming from inside the house. Kevin Williamson and Caitlin Crabb said, fine, we'll give you fuckers a chase scene. This one's a funny one. I know what you did last quarantine. This one's a funny one. So this is where all the chase scenes from Scream 22 went to. And then this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Love it when a modern horror film is genuinely lovely to look at. There's a scene when someone is set on fire and stumbles out to the middle of the road. Gorgeous, paint it, frame it, and put it on the wall. This one's a little sad. Can't help myself from imagining how much better this would have been if it was directed by Craven. Okay, listen, we all wish that Wes Craven, the king of horror, was alive so that he could keep making movies, okay? And that was it. So I hope that this video was entertaining for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see ya. Bye.